You're listening to Our Mission Path. I'm Timothy Downing. Today I want to update you on our food distribution ministry. We have a project that has been secretive, but we're nearly completed with it. We're nearly ready to announce it, but we're not announcing it yet. Although I do want to just tell you, we're very excited about it, and when we do announce it, I think you'll see how we've worked diligently to make sure that the food distribution program is sustainable and that it is it's going to, I think, be a little bit broader than what we had even imagined it to be before. So let me tell you a little bit about currently what is happening in the food distribution program. As many of you know, many of you were with us from the beginning, you know that during COVID, we started seeing people suffering because they just did not have enough food. We began distributing the food that we had in our house to our pastors. Now, we had quite a lot in our house, and it's not just because we're, fat Americans. No, that might describe me, but that's not the reason we had a lot of food in our house. We had a lot of food in our house because we started to prep. A couple years ago, there was a paro nacional, a national strike. And that national strike caused there to be a closing of almost all of the normal ways to get food. There's no stores open. The farmer's market was closed. And during a couple weeks of experiencing that, we realized we needed to have food storage enough for ourselves and for our family, not just our family that lives in our house, but our extended family, the family of God, and of course our neighbors as well. Fast forward a little bit, the pandemic happened and we had food storage. When we started seeing the need of the people around us, we started trying to meet that need with what we had. We would go up to Quito and we would give some food bags to pastors. We knew that most of them work one day so they can eat the next, just like a lot of people here work one day so they can eat the next. And as they were doing that, that's okay if there is an economy that can support that kind of lifestyle. But during the pandemic, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, everything was closed and people weren't eating. So we started giving our food storage away to our pastors. We thought at least if we can keep them healthy, they can minister to the flock in a healthy way. We then found that most of our pastors, or many of them, were taking what we gave them, distributing it amongst those who were hurt the most in their congregations. At that point, we reached out to you for help, and you responded. We started a food fund, and you started to give generously to that food fund. Because of that, we have been able to give tons of food away. Again, we've changed over the years, the way that we have done this. One, I guess, in the beginning, I should say, what we did was we would buy dry foods and give it to churches on a kind of a macro level. We would give enough food to a church to distribute it amongst the brethren and amongst the people that they saw in need in their neighborhood as well. That was a wonderful thing. We loved doing it. What we have seen through that has been nothing short but miraculous. We have stories of people who have just been crying and saying, we didn't have food in the house. We were going on 3 days without food, and then food arrived. Help arrived. We prayed and help arrived. That help arrived because of you. And so we want to thank you for that. During our food distribution ministry, a church in Northeast Ohio asked us, could you give away, could you raise, live animals or give away live animals? And so we started collecting live animals. they started generously giving towards that, and we would buy up all of the chickens that we could find in one day, and then we'd raise them, get them fat and happy, and then we would give them away. We would kill them and give them away. Never thought that my hands would be bloody with chicken blood, but desperate times, right? And so as we continued with that, we've given away goats, we've given away sheep, we've given away cattle, guinea pigs, chickens, ducks. We've given away pavos, which are turkeys. Just a lot of things that we've been able to give away. And again, because you have richly blessed us, we've been able to richly bless others. A new phase has begun in the food distribution ministry. We are seeing the economy come back just a bit. We are very happy to see that, but one of the things we are very concerned with is we do not want people to be dependent on us. This was a help, not a lifestyle. And so one of the things that we have done to change the way that we give food is now we've asked the pastors here in Ecuador, would you please tell us who really needs food in your church? And so what we've been asking them to do is assess the flock. And when they see somebody who's really in need, we'll be happy to meet that need. Now, what does that look like? Well, the church in Carapungo and Santa Clara, they just recently gave us the names of 5 different families that needed food. And so last Thursday evening, Angelita and I were able to go and purchase enough food for those families and then give them to the pastor of those church. That the pastor is one pastor of both of those churches. And they are able to give more directly to the need in their congregation. We've been made aware of some needs in the El Carmen Bajo Church and also in the Combate del Pueblo Church. We'll be meeting those needs in the coming days as well. And so in this way, we can give more directly and I think more appropriately to the people in Ecuador who are actually in need. Now, we're going to announce something here in a few weeks, maybe months, I don't know. When we get it to the point where we really feel like we can announce it, we're very excited to do so, but it should allow us to sustainably give away food in a way that isn't so dependent on North American giving. Now, I understand many of you are giving out of the kindness of your heart to this program, and you want to continue to give, and that's wonderful. We are happy to provide an avenue for this. On the other hand, I also know that a ministry needs to be sustainable in the country that it is in. Quite frankly, missionary work in the past has been fraught with this terrible idea that with the missionary comes missionary money. And because missionary money comes, people associate the missionary with power. And that's not the way it's supposed to be in the church. You know, Jesus was speaking to his disciples one time and he said, you see how the Gentiles lord it over one another? It's not to be that way with you. If you want to be great in the kingdom of God, you need to be least. If you want to lead, well, you need to serve. We are on a completely different plane of service in the church than the world is. Leadership in the church is completely different as well. And it should never, ever, ever, ever be controlled. It should never be looked at as well, the missionary has the power because the missionary has the money. That shouldn't be the way it is. And so we're working very, very diligently here in Ecuador to make a sustainable food source for people. That's not really the goal of our missionary work. The goal of our missionary work is to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to everyone who sees fit to hear it. Those who have ears to hear should hear, and that's really the goal. And developing the church along the way as we do so, leadership development and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to take some time today and tell you about that side project of how we are distributing the food currently, if you want to call it evolution or change in that food distribution ministry over the years. We are just so excited to be able to do this for the people. I know not every missionary can, not every missionary is supposed to, but we really feel like we were supposed to. And so we want to say thank you for allowing us to do what we were supposed to do in the time that we are supposed to do it. We look forward to announcing a little bit later on all the neat things that we're planning, and stay tuned. We thank you so much for not only supporting us, but joining us along our mission path. We call it our mission path because it's not my mission path, and it's not your mission path. It's our mission path as we follow Jesus Christ together. Thank you for listening to our mission path. Friends, my family and I serve Jesus Christ in Ecuador, where we are happy to look to see where Jesus is leading us and follow him closely. That's all we're really trying to do. If you'd like to know more about our ministry, please go to ourmissionpath.com. Thank you for listening, and thank you for joining us along our